everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole and I am a bride-to-be getting married in June, and I am so excited to take you guys on this journey with me of wedding planning and all the fun things that come with it. So today we are going to chat about my wedding dress shopping experience, and I am so excited to talk about this because I feel like I thought that I was so well prepared when I went shopping, and then it was like 4 stores later and I finally found my dress. So it's an interesting story, all good stuff, but I definitely want to give you guys a couple tips that will help you when you plan to go wedding dress shopping, and things to ask, things to look for, things to do before you even go. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Most of you guys already know this, but I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I went wedding dress shopping back in April. April of 2021. Well, that's kind of a lie because I bought my dress in April, but I started going wedding dress shopping in like January or February of 2021 this year. And my experience, I mean, I could probably talk about this for a long time, but I'm gonna kind of narrow it down and just give you a brief synopsis of what happened and how I found my dress, what I went into my appointment knowing, things along those lines. And I forgot to show you guys my shirt. I'm wearing my girlfriend to fiance shirt for this video. So I am that bride that I feel like I have literally been planning my wedding since I was in high school. Like, I feel like I always knew what I wanted. I knew the dress that I wanted. I knew everything, right? And it's so funny because until you're a bride and until you're literally going through the motions and like going dress shopping and all that stuff, you really don't know what you want. You know, that's bottom line, is like it's really hard to choose because trends change and like things can be different, right? So what happened for me was I went in with photos, and that's my first tip, is go into your appointment with inspiration of what you want, what you think you want your dress to look like. And my next tip is definitely be open-minded. Do not be afraid to try on like a big ball gown if you thought you wanted something very form-fitting, because most of the time you actually end up choosing something totally different than what you actually thought you'd be wearing on your wedding day. Guilty. Guilty, guilty, guilty. So, again, flashback to January, I went to a bridal boutique here in the Pittsburgh area, and it was, of course, during COVID, so I was only allowed to bring, I think to that boutique, I think I was only allowed to bring 4 other people plus myself. So like that was a pretty good chunk of people. So I remember I brought my maid of honor Tara, my matron of honor Kenzie, my mom, my cousin Victoria, and then of course myself, and then I zoomed in my other bridesmaid who is not from the Pittsburgh area. So I was able to have the whole clan with me, which I would have obviously loved to bring like my grandma or other people, but it was just a little bit tough with like COVID regulations and restrictions and stuff like that. But nonetheless, so I go to this first appointment. I'm so excited. I have all the pictures on my phone of what I want to look like and, you know, all the things. So I tell my consultant what I'm looking for, show her some pictures of inspiration. And one of the biggest things that I really disliked about my entire dress shopping experience at other places versus the place where I got my dress was I wasn't able to actually shop the rack. I don't know if it was due to COVID regulations or what it was, but all I really did was show these consultants photos of what I thought that I wanted, and they went back and picked out dresses for me. And after, you know, a couple different locations, I'm like, that just doesn't feel fun to me. Like, I feel like I'm missing out on like really beautiful dresses that like I might end up loving, but look nothing like the picture that I'm showing my consultants. And I would always tell my consultants to like pick out like, you know, something that is totally opposite of what I'm showing you. Like, because again, it comes down to the point where most of the time you're picking something totally different than what you thought you would be wearing. So first couple stores that I went to were all kind of like that. I wasn't able to go through the racks. I found a couple good options, which were great, and they were fun and, you know, all that stuff, but I never had like that moment. You know, I never sat back or like looked at myself in the mirror and I always try to picture myself walking down the aisle to Tyler, and I just couldn't see myself doing that in any of the dresses that I had tried on. And I'm like, there has to be more. Like, there has to be more. He said, Nicole, there's this place out in Greensburg, PA, and it's where I got my dress, and it's amazing. It's about an hour drive, but I think it's worth it, and I think you need to just go check it out. And at first, I was like, oh, like, I don't really want to. You know, I'm like, that's a long drive, blah, blah, blah. And lo and behold, I booked an appointment and went to this boutique, and it's actually called MB Bride, which is in Greensburg, PA. It's about an hour drive or so from the Pittsburgh area, so definitely not the closest place, but I wanted to give it a shot because I knew my dress had to be out there. Ended up actually being at MB Bride, which is amazing. Oh my goodness, I literally just had like the absolute best experience there. Like, the consultants were amazing. My consultant's name was Sue, and she was incredible. And first things first is, as soon as I walked into my appointment, I was able to look through all of the dresses. Like, I don't understand. Why are some places not like that? And again, it might just be like preference, like, or just, you know, protocols per boutique or whatever, but I don't know. I was one of those brides that needed to go through the rack and like feel the dress and pick it up and see how heavy it was and just like look at all the fun options. Like, that was my seriously, that was my ultimate favorite part about picking out my wedding dress. I literally picked my dress off the rack. No one else did that for me, right? Not that that's a bad thing, I'm not saying that, but I felt like I had full control over what dress I was picking, what dresses I was picking to try on, and that to me just made my experience that much better. I went through every single rack like 2 to 3 times just to make sure there wasn't a dress that I was missing or anything like that. My experience there was absolutely amazing, and I didn't feel like pressured or anything to like say yes to the dress that day. And I actually didn't. I did not say yes to the dress that first day that I went to MB Bride, because it's a big decision, you know? Like, I took a step back and I was like, I need to, number one, I need to sleep on this. Like, it's such a big decision, and I just wasn't fully comfortable, honestly, saying yes that day, because I had another option at one other store that I thought I really liked, but I really didn't at the end of the day. I think I just talked myself into it more than I actually thought. Like, oh, this could be my wedding dress. I was like, mm-mm. I ended up going back like probably about a month later and tried the same dress on again, and I said yes. So I will post a couple pictures maybe over here in this region if I can, or in the next couple seconds. Oh, it was such an amazing feeling. I had my mom, my future mother-in-law, and my maid of honor there with me that day when I said yes to my dress, because the moms actually did some mother of the bride and groom dress shopping as well. I want to leave you guys with just a couple tips that I think could be helpful for you when you go wedding dress shopping. So tip number 1 is go into your appointment with a bunch of inspiration, things that you think you're gonna want to put on and try on, and also some wild cards, because again, you never know what you're gonna actually like on your body, and it's better to be prepared with some options than going in with one specific style and not loving it. Tip number 2, my biggest thing that I can say is definitely just try to block out opinions that maybe aren't the nicest from whether it's family or whatever the case may be, and really just focus in on yourself, figure out if you love what you look like in the dress, and again, also look at yourself in the mirror and see if you can picture yourself walking down the aisle in that dress, because if you can, it's probably a good contender. And tip number 3, make sure you go into your appointment with a budget that you are looking to stay within, because there are dresses from $300 to $10,000. So make sure you estimate a budget that is good for you, and make sure your consultant knows that as well, so you're not trying on a dress that you absolutely love that actually ends up being way over your budget. Alright guys, and that concludes my wedding dress experience video. I'm sorry if this was kind of all over the place or if I didn't hit on specific things, but I didn't have any notes on my phone or anything. I was just kind of filming this on a whim. So if there's anything that I missed, or if you have any other questions or things that you want to know, definitely leave them down below and I will get back to you ASAP. And of course, if you don't already follow me on my social media platforms, make sure you do. My wedding TikTok, my Instagram, I will have those linked down below and also here on the screen for you as well. And hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!